The great Gloucester waste disposal debate.
Oh yes.
Okay. Tell us what you know about this ongoing issue. What solutions do you support, and where would you provide the infrastructure?
Okay. Well, the main issue at stake at the moment is all about the residual waste. And my definition of residual waste is quite simple as a non-scientist. It's everything that's left over that you can't recycle. And a classic example is a car key. You cannot recycle a car key. So it's that sort of thing that has to go somewhere. At the moment, we put it in landfill, and we pay a cost for that, and we're going to pay a massively increased cost every year from now on. It's under EU legislation, but it's been adapted and approved by the UK. Anyone who's seen the tip at Hempstead will know that it is horrible, absolutely horrible. And I'm also convinced that it's responsible for the increase in seagulls, which nobody living in the city really wants to have. I've had seagulls on our roof at night, which are not great. I've had them dropping their goods all over our cars and even on my head. So we all agree we don't really want to have the numbers of seagulls got. And I'm convinced that they're here because they feed off the tip at Hempstead. So what do you do with your residual waste? You either put it into landfill or you treat it in some other way, and you probably try and use it to turn waste into energy. And there are various different technologies for doing that. Now, there is this sort of one-line slogan that people use, incineration bad, recycling good. Well, we can all agree with that. Obviously recycling is good, but nowhere in the world recycles 100%, and very few places recycle more than about 75%. We're at a for the city, we're not really yet at the 50% mark. We're getting there pretty soon. So we can do a lot more on recycling, which is good, but there will always be this waste, and we're always going to have to work out what to do with it. Now, this government, the Labour government, has made it absolutely clear that it is much better to have a waste-to-energy programme than to have landfill. And it's much cheaper too in terms of the fines that you won't have to pay. So the only question really that's up for debate, which I think is where you started from, is where are you going to have this process of converting waste to energy? What technology will you use? And no doubt people will want to know whether it involves incineration. The location is easy in a sense because all the bidders for this contract to deal with residual waste have named specifically Javelin Park, which is at Haresfield, 5 miles from the city centre, but not that far from the junction 12 on the M5. So Javelin Park is the likeliest site. County Council hasn't yet made a decision, but I would have thought there is a strong chance that that will be the site chosen. What sort of technology will be chosen? County Council, who's the people responsible for this, have got on the table effectively, I think, 4 bids that involve waste to energy using some form of incineration, some form of burning of the residue, and one which involves MBT, which is a different process, which still involves a little bit of burning at the end of it. But remember, they don't have to do the burning here in Javelin Park. They could transport the residue for the final bit of the process, the burning, somewhere else. So, where do I stand on all of this? I want what everybody wants, which is the best environmental and the best financial solution. I don't want it to cost the taxpayer any more than it has to, but I also don't want the taxpayer to be surrounded by whatever the opposition propaganda is, a 10-storey incinerator belching evil smoke, something like the hymn Jerusalem. It's not going to be like that. I mean, Switzerland and Finland, which are environmentally friendly countries, also burn their residue effectively. So it certainly won't be like that, come what may. Whether MBT or a straighter form of waste-to-energy incineration is the best technological solution and financially no worse than them, I don't know yet. We'll have to see, which is why I've always said, let's wait and see the final study with the recommendations that comes out of the County Council, and then I will give my view as to whether I think they've come up with the best solution. So I'm not waiting for them to tell me what's best. I will make my own decision, but I want them to do the research and crunch the figures and crunch the technologies, because I haven't got the resources to do that myself. And I don't think anybody else has, to be honest.